This is MIP. Get woke.
Some say my future not that bright. Some say I'm useless, unholy, and I'm not living right. But at the beginning of the day, look in the mirror and say, I am somebody. Oh. Well, I believe the future's in my hand. And I tell every boy, girl, woman, and man, if I can think it, I can believe it, create it and achieve it. So I am somebody. Oh, I am somebody. Oh, I am somebody. Maybe down and pushed away, but at the end of the day, I am.
I love that song. Joining us now, founder of the Rainbow Push Coalition, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Reverend, good morning. How are you?
Real well, Mark. How are you today, my brother?
Fine, brother. It's good to hear your voice. There's so much for us to cover. First of all, let's talk about Waffle House. Killing 4 people of color in a Waffle House yesterday. I believe the manhunt is ongoing for this very disturbed individual. This raises not only the ongoing issue and concern of guns in America, but obviously this very well may be an issue of race also.
It may very well be. It looks to be that way. You have mean-spirited people with these weapons of mass destruction, and we've been encouraged. We've not banned them yet.
Yeah.
And the same guy was at the White House, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
And so none of us are safe until these weapons are removed from the streets and they're no longer sold, Mark.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, simultaneously, we have sort of a similar situation as Starbucks, perhaps a bit more brutal. Young lady in an Alabama Waffle House, 2 Waffle House incidents yesterday. An Alabama Waffle House was manhandled by the police. And folks, join us, as I said, on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Make it plain. I want people to, I'm going to show this video, and Reverend Jackson will hear it. Those of you watching our stream will see it. And this is a very graphic video with graphic language of the arrest of the young woman in the Alabama Waffle House. Can you bring me up, please, Andrew? This, I want you all to see this. This is this right here.
You haven't did nothing. You haven't did nothing too. She always asked him what's corporate number.
Because the only thing I asked him was for corporate number.
That's the only thing she asked
I
him.
was going to go over there and get the card from them.
I heard the F-bomb and everything else.
No, because Goldie was sitting here talking crazy to me. No, but that's not what you're going to do to me. You're not going to grab on me like that, no.
Come on, Kiki, let's just go outside.
Please talk to you separately. Because he just come here and just grabbed on me like for no reason. I was saying I was going.
Yes, he would have. All she did was ask him what's their number.
Anything.
Why you not pushing her? She not doing nothing. Like, what are y'all doing? No, y'all doing nothing.
Y'all are really doing stuff to me. What are you doing?
Man, I'll break your arm. That's what I'm about to do.
You about to break her arm?
Go ahead and put resisting.
Like, what are y'all doing?
No, I'm not.
Y'all got her titties out and everything.
One part out.
Right now you can put
No, I'm trying to understand what's going on.
She not, y'all ain't even talking about why she being on her leg.
Y'all not even telling me what I'm doing.
Like, why you talking? Kiki, just turn over. Kiki, turn over.
Pull your head around.
What am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong? Y'all haven't told me anything that I did wrong.
Roll over on your stomach.
Y'all haven't told me anything that I
Kiki,
did wrong.
y'all got her head behind her back.
Right. I don't have anything.
You want to come fix her clothes?
No, y'all fix it. Y'all got it.
Now, they said fix her clothes, Reverend, because they had her flat on the ground. Her breasts were exposed. She was on her stomach. Her breasts were flat on the floor. She had only asked for some plastic utensils, Reverend. and rather than give her the utensils, the person at Waffle House called the police. So this is a little more brutal than what we saw happen in Starbucks. Reverend, what's going on?
Well, the acid rain is coming top down. People feel emboldened to engage in certain racist behavior because of the environment set by the president. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah. No question about it. We were on the radio. I was on your radio show yesterday, and you said something. I will get the quote right, but you talked about how in Birmingham and in places where we were not served and was segregated, in places where, they told Dick Gregory, we don't serve colors here, and he said, I don't eat colors. The law was on those establishments' side. What you said yesterday, though, the law clearly is not on these establishments' side, like Starbucks and Waffle House.
In this case, the law is now on the side of those who violate the culture of the ownership of Starbucks.
Yeah.
I thought that in the Philadelphia case, it was significant that a young white lady, it was her filming of it that made it go viral.
Yeah.
That the manager of the place was fired. The ownership flew from Seattle to Philadelphia to apologize. And one thing about Starbucks, every worker there, part-time and full-time, gets full-time insurance. And so I know they've done a lot of right things now. The fact that this thing is breaking out now like a fever or something. I'm glad people who are victims are taking it public.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm glad the woman filmed it, and as you said, the executives flew into Philly right away. But as we discussed yesterday, there are, in a situation like this, there are steps we should follow, steps that Dr. King gave us in a letter from the Birmingham jail, steps he always preached about. But we have them written down. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. I mean, we should, whenever a business treats us this way, there are standard steps we should follow, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I think the steps involve not just the incident maybe expose a deeper malady in the culture. For example, how many Starbucks franchise licensees are there?
Right.
That's research.
Right.
How many of them are black, brown, or female? Research. So they're using black and brown lawyers, ad agents, and marketing. Research.
Right.
Once you research establish the case, then you go to education. Educate us as the founding of the research. Then negotiation for change and for inclusion. And if that works, good. If it doesn't work, demonstration. When it's over, reconciliation. So research, education, negotiation, demonstration, and reconciliation. That's for the long run. That's not just for a private single individual, Mark. That's for, I think, the whole company must come under observation of the whole company, not just the incidents here and there.
And that's important, folks, because as I've been saying, and as I said on Reverend's show on yesterday, there are some good things Starbucks is about, some good things they're doing. But we learned from Reverend Jackson when he does report. You all remember when we did the report card last year, and it comes to businesses in the automotive industry. And one of the issues Reverend Jackson raised about BMW, see, this is how you get a good grade on your report card. When you're transparent and you release information, when a company's withholding diversity information, that's sort of a red flag. Starbucks has not been forthcoming, and Reverend Jackson is going to ask for this. Starbucks, they're going to do the racial bias training, but one of the other things that must be negotiated in order for us to have full research, how many African Americans, women, people of color are licensees? It's not a franchise, it's a license. How many African Americans, women, people of color are managers? That's important information to know because, that's where the leadership is. So they've got a diverse board. They have one of the most diverse boards.
The use of marketing firms, ad agencies.
Thank you. Yeah. Right.
Lawyers, the whole range of opportunities.
Yeah.
But then, well, we can get angry with that, and when BMW has a 358 dealership, 5 African Americans,
Right.
get upset about that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the point.
Jaguar does not have a single African American dealership, not one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If we're going to take in the private sector fight, let's be consistent and let's take it to its logic. I've been making this case for over 30 years. Let's take on the private sector with consumer power.
That's right. That's right. So I know the 4 steps in the letter from the Birmingham jail, but I know you've kind of added and nuanced them. There's research and education, negotiation,
Demonstration.
demonstration.
And when it's over, reconciliation.
Yes. So that's the tension that's created. So we need more of the research. Starbucks needs to release that information, and we can negotiate that. The racial bias training, I mean, frankly, to me, kind of falls more into the reconciliation category. We should have got some of this other stuff first, but everybody didn't work the same way.
We went to Silicon Valley, and they we went after the EEO-1 reports. They didn't want to release those EEO-1 reports.
Right.
A lot of information is in there.
Yeah.
As a result, we got blacks on the board for the first time. We got blacks in financial services for the first time. We've gone from 3 board members to 18 in the last 2 years because research embarrasses them.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
No,
You're absolutely right. Reverend Jesse Jackson with us, folks. Also, we haven't talked about this because you were away last week, and so thankful for your representation. You represented the United States. You were, I guess, the unofficial delegation at the celebration of life of Winnie Mandela. You were in South Africa over a week. Please tell us about that, if you would, Reverend.
Well, we were received with great warmth and love. We been down there since 1979. I'm gonna get you a copy of an article today, Mark. You come to my office on our trip there in 1979 when it was banned at that time. We knew about Winnie before we knew about Nelson, for example. She played when ANC was in exile and leadership was in jail. It was her voice. She took the hit. She took the pain. She deserved much credit for the success of the revolution in South Africa. But then it's an incomplete revolution because there's 55 million people, 10 million whites, and that's 4% of the land. There's a land dimension to this thing and the business dimension. America, the Western world, is now investing in the 10%, not in the 90%. So it's like a black ocean of white island. And all the investments going in the white island, not in the black masses. So there are challenges to be of unfinished business, but to go from violent oppression to freedom to fight is a big step in the right direction.
You said something too yesterday that I thought was profound. That there's freedom, and then there's equality. There's freedom in South Africa, but not equality.
Free but not equal. What you really have, you ended the race apartheid, but not the resource apartheid.
Right.
So that now the white and black can associate together, but not do business together, and that's the next big step. And that's the same true for us here as well as from there.
Yeah. So of course,
it also is interesting. Back home, we keep getting these tweets and gestures. Look like Trump is going to pardon Jack Johnson.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Should have happened a long time ago. You know, we appealed the last 8 years. Please pardon Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was a convicted moral interpreter taking a white woman across state lines.
Right.
That was just a race hit. At the time when 5,000 blacks were lynched without one second indictment, for them to convict him was nothing but that. So I hope Trump does that. It doesn't deal with the issue of insurance, health care, and the range of services, but it would be a good thing if he were to do that.
he had tweeted that Sylvester Stallone reached out to him and was lobbying him to Trump to pardon Jack Johnson. Do you think Trump knows that Jack Johnson's black before he tweeted that? I hope.
Yes, he knows it. And when many of us met Trump many years ago, Trump used to go to the Mike Tyson fights and Sugar Ray Leonard fights. He was a big fight fan. So he knows what he's doing. And with pardon Jack is a good thing. You pardon people who need health care today, too. Those who don't have health care, they should be pardoned, too, with health care bill.
Yeah, yeah.
Those who work need to live with wages. Pardon those who work and don't get wages. Pardon them, too.
Yeah, yeah. Donald Trump folks saying he may pardon Jack Johnson. Lastly, Reverend, and I hope I'm not violating any confidence, I know that you've been in Detroit checking on our queen, Aretha Franklin. How is she doing? Shall we offer, we should always offer prayers for her, but how's she doing, man?
Oh, she's doing better. Offer prayers for Aretha. She is our sister beloved. She's our queen beloved, so please continue to pray for her.
Yes, sir. Folks, Rainbow Push International Convention, and some of Winnie Mandela's daughters are going to be attending.
We expect so.
Good. That's great. Rainbow Push International Convention coming up in June, folks. Second week in June.
June 13th through 16th.
RainbowPush.org. I'm told if I'm on my best behavior, I'll be allowed to come again this year.
You'll be able to come, but and the focus beyond that is 4 million blacks in the South are registered. 2.5 million who registered who did not vote. 4 million high school seniors are eligible to register and vote. We should not take our eyes off of the power of voter registration and voter turnout.
Yeah.
We can change the House and the Senate this year. We, in fact, use the power. These are low-hanging grapes. Our right to vote is upon us, but we've got to register and use it.
Yeah, you're right. Reverend Jesse Jackson, follow him on Twitter. He tweets y'all, Rev J. Jackson on Twitter. Also go to rainbowpush.org to keep up with everything. Why don't you all meet us in Chicago? Don't meet us there, beat us there. It's always a great time, a lot of fun, and a great reunion of international human rights activists and civil rights activists. Rainbowpush.org. Reverend, as always, sir, we're honored by your presence. We appreciate you, and we'll talk again next week, if not sooner, okay?
Thank you, sir.
God bless you, sir. Take care now. 866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-4748. I can't help but get sentimental when I think about Winnie Mandela and the South African freedom struggle. That was one very meaningful struggle to end apartheid that all of us were in. And it was a lot. It was a lot we sacrificed, a lot that we did, a lot of admiration for Winnie and Nelson Mandela, and especially for Winnie, because Nelson was in prison, and she kept that movement and that struggle alive in many respects. And I mean, I'm really understating that. And you think about the people, that was a good, real, honest struggle, and genuine and authentic, and there were nothing but good soldiers in that struggle. I think about some of my friends that I miss and wish I could find again in South Africa. I have no idea where they are right now, but it was good to work with them. And there was a real sense of accomplishment. You know, a lot of times we struggle in and around things and we just fight, and then there's nothing that tangible left from that struggle after it's over. It's just, we fought and might have gotten a little something, but there was something tangible in the anti-apartheid struggle. Not only winning the right to vote, not only electing Nelson Mandela, not only honoring Winnie Mandela, but a lot of us made lifelong friends, really eternal friends beyond this life in that struggle. I can't state that enough. So it really, thinking about that struggle is very spiritual and emotional for me. and those of you I know who involved in it as well feel that was one of the greatest and most meaningful freedom struggles in the history of humankind. God bless Winnie Mandela. Also, your prayers for the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Keep her in your prayers. I know she's been home. Reverend has been in Detroit visiting her, and she's home now out of the hospital. But please, please, please keep her in your prayers. All right. 866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-4748. Again, a lot of ground to cover. What I want to get this quick one in. James is in Texas. James is watching. James, you got some news coming on Fox about Fox News. What are they doing right now?
Well, they're the only ones that are actually covered the story of the shooting, and I've been flashing back and forth between CNN and MSNBC, and I haven't even seen the story. I didn't even know it was colored people that were shot.
You mean people of color?
People of color. Yeah, I'm a 63-year-old white guy from New England that's living in Texas. So,
yeah.
And working at a Shell station
and it was a good guy,
an Indian owner. So
this was a good guy without a gun that did that.
Yeah, I was telling. That was when I headed to work at 4:00. I was telling as many people as I could.
That's
great. How do you stop a bad guy with a gun? You got to have a black guy without a gun.
Beautiful. James, I got to go to break. Thank you, man. Sirius XM Progress 127, Resistance Radio. Get woke, get ready for impeachment. This is MIP.
Somebody, oh, I am somebody.